Hello and welcome everyone to a Division 1 match here in the fall 2024 season. My name's Joe. This is week 2. UT Rio Grande Valley taking on Athens. Let's dive right into the action here. We've got Kukuru versus Sean Rodriguez Lemieux. This is the board 2 for Rio Grande Valley versus board 3, I believe, for Athens. Or no, maybe it's board 4 and this is board 1. I'm not sure. Either way, Sean, strong player. He's a grandmaster. I believe recently getting his title. He was an IM, I think, on the sheets last season. But definitely the favorite in this matchup. We've got a couple games going, all 4 games, which is great to see. Here we've got Funo, which is Victor Gazik, top board, versus Skulariki, who is Jonas Kalogeris. So we actually watched this Athens team compete yesterday against the Mizzou team, and that was a very hungry Mizzou team. Looks like UTRGV starting off the scoring quickly here. That is a hanging rook. That's a fork. So Gajic getting the first point of the match. I'm actually going to switch the usernames just real quick. So please bear with me here for a second. We're going to swap Sean with Victor. And I'm also going to fix Sean's last name so that it fits. All right. So yeah, point on the board for Rio Grande Valley. Let's check on the other boards. What's up, Subham? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. All right, Peto versus Vas Cass. That's Vasilios Kasiumis. And Peto is Ekin, Baris Oznir. We've watched a lot of Oznir in the past. He's a strong player. He's a board 4 international master for this Texas team. And yeah, international master 2700 on board 4. Actually, maybe he's board 3 because Vasilios is registered as board 2. So let's check in on this last game. It'll tell us who's who, really. Fusik. This is Jacob Fuss versus Tactic Thunder. So that is Athens board 1. So I'm going to swap Jacob with Oznir as well so that that all matches. And voila, we have all the boards in the right orders. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, still the point remains. Fusik is an international master on board 4, over 2,700. Tactic Thunder, this is Dimitris Alexakis, top board for this Athens team, international master, over 2,800. And this will be Athens' top board, top player, top scorer, depending on how the score or the matches pan out. Of course, it's going to be a tough lineup for all of these Athens players regardless. And yeah, UT Rio Grande Valley, they're actually playing again later today. So they've packed, I guess, maybe 3 matches in this one weekend. That's like almost half the season. So they're taking full advantage of their ability to reschedule matches to fit their very busy schedule. And we want to make sure that players and teams are aware of this resource. We want to make sure that teams are able to remain flexible and get their matches in. So I know a lot of these scholarship teams are competing over the board later on in the season. I think this match was originally scheduled to be a week 7 match, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, Demetrius, low on time, less than 30 seconds. He brought his knight to the edge of the board. They say not to do that, but he was eyeing up some key light squares. Bishop to d3 covers c4, but the knight hops in to b3 now, able to trade off for a bishop, and there's another knight trading for a bishop. So even though Demetrius down on a lot of time, there is that 2-second increment, and I'm assuming he's going to snap off this bishop, but actually no. He likes the knight here. This is a really strong knight, just right up in this king's space. Knight on f4, saying, I'm not even going to take your bishop. Your bishop's staring at my pawns. My knight is just a menace on this board. So I'm going to play g5, lock that knight in, and the bishop says, all right, if you're not going to take me, I'm going to tuck back and be a defensive piece. Now the knight continuing some shenanigans, attacking this queen. Queen's going to have to move again. So even though low on time, I think Demetrius is playing this pretty well. Queen to b3, and now the pawn continues its journey. Part of the reason why the knight wanted to move, and now this knight's got to move. Hey, TFS, thanks for tuning in, stopping by, appreciate you. All right, knight in the center. Jacob says, I can attack your queen too. And we see the dark square bishop traded off. That was a key defender of this king, covering some dark squares. And now it's white potentially throwing some punches. This knight looks pinned. The knight's defending this pawn, though. You can't take because the knight will defend the queen backwards. However, I am considering maybe there's like bishop c4 here going after this knight. Although I'm not sure if you want to open up this bishop so easily. I am personally not planning on streaming more matches, but we shall see. I'm wondering about an exchange sacrifice here. Probably not worth it, but I mean, this bishop is a really good minor piece. Maybe we tuck the queen here and we're threatening to take this pawn, because this pawn will be overloaded. Instead, we're going here, going after this pawn. Maybe the king will step up, perhaps. 9 seconds now. We have another result. Peto has beat Vasilios. Queen here, not defending the pawn, so that is quite peculiar of a decision. I'm not sure if it was a mouselet. I mean, queen to g7 now, maybe a move too late. Let's update some scores. We've got a point for Ekin. All right, so the queen has grabbed the pawn and does not trade, understandably so. Let's check in real quick with Sean. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay, up a knight for black. That is a very sizable advantage. So Sean should be able to convert this. White has 2 pawns for the knight, though, but one of them is definitely doubled and isolated. Black infiltrating on the back rank. This king has no legal moves, by the way, so White's trying to cover the second rank, but both rooks now on the first rank, checking the king. He's on the run. Can the knight join in on the fun? You can give a check to try and simplify, but perhaps there's more. In fact, rook check, knight here looks to be unstoppable. So rook covers that. If you check with the knight, then rook could take it, because rook takes, the other rook will fall. So here we're going after some pawns, going after the knight. You can take one with check. There you go. And now you can keep giving checks. Check here looks pretty good. King here is forced. Knight is a hit. Knight counterattacks the king. King goes here. We're so close to checkmate. But not quite. Both players very low on time. Less than 10 seconds for each. And there goes a passed pawn. Yeah, attacking the knight. Rook check. Another check. Knight's defended. There's another check. King has to move. Maybe push the pawn again. No, grabbing this guy. What's funny is white could maybe consider constructing some... that's a skewer. That might be resigns right there. Or flag. Either way, that gets the job done for the Texas team. Another point for Texas. Top board, Sean. And we've got one last game here in round one. Texas perhaps going to go for the 4-game sweep, which is, I think, exactly how Mizzou started against Athens yesterday. So Athens may be getting a little beat up. White threatening checkmate now, so the black rook comes back to guard the 8th rank. Wow, B3 is a draw, and it's played on the board. Jacob blundering big with king G3. And now one of the pawns is going to fall. But then white will take this pawn. This was such a strong pawn, I'm not sure if you want to take it. Oh, it comes with check. It comes with check. And now this pawn will fall, and it's an absolute draw. Yeah, wow. Great defense there from the top board of Athens, making sure not to have his team get swept. A little bit of a choke from the Texas player, blundering with king G3, allowing the rook to get behind its passed pawn. But still, a fantastic result for Texas. Not losing on any board. 3.5 to a half. And Athens still has to come back and get their first win of the match. So, yeah, round one in the books. Round two underway. Here we go. Sean versus Skulariki. Starting off with an English. Yeah, I'm only 7 hours away now. So, Central Time Zone. Kind of helps out a little bit. When I was in LA, some of these matches would start 8 a.m. my time, which is the 11 a.m. Eastern. So now that's only 10 a.m. Not too bad. I am enjoying St. Louis. Yeah, there's definitely more chess out here, more friends, more family. I actually ran into my aunt just on the at Central West End, like near the chess club, which was so funny. Yeah. So more chess tournaments. I was watching the St. Louis Chess Club stream yesterday. Eric Rosen, I think, won that Blitz tournament, and then we hung out at his place afterwards. Have I visited the campus for SLU? No. I haven't visited any college chess clubs yet. Not since I've moved here. I have visited Wash U's chess club. We did some tabling like 2 years ago or something. So that was cool. All right, let's check on some of the other games. We've got all 4 underway. Here we've got Funo. Ahead in development, already castled. Black. Why not? What's up with this? I guess the knight's going to come to e4. So, one knight's taken out. Now if the knight lands here, perhaps you could invest bishop takes and double isolate. Well, not isolate, but double the pawns. Here we're threatening checkmate in 1, and castles does not save you. So, we're defending this. Queen steps in. A little invasive, preventing castling. So now the bishop retreats, flushes the queen out. And now there's bishop g7. However, still not threatening to castle, as that still blunders checkmate. But going after this pawn, that's a strong, annoying pawn in the center. Do I remember who the ambassadors were 2 years ago? For UTR, or for Wash U, I think they had a guy named like Angelo. Um, I think I first met him at a Vegas tournament, actually. Uh, yeah, Wash U, they also had a guy from Minnesota. I think he had started like a league on Lee Chess or something. I should know his name. Anywho, F4, Somnik, yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Maybe he's back in Minnesota. I can't remember if he did like grad school or something. Um, okay, Knight's gonna land on D6 if Black does nothing. He is a PhD student, but is he back in Minnesota or is he still at WashU? This would be a nice little fork if we could land it. So you either have to take it or you have to. Okay, castles. Knight takes on C5. I feel like knight d6 was still also very good and very annoying. So yeah, looking great for Victor here. Let's check in on some of the other boards. We've got top board from Athens, still looking for their first point. And what happened here? We've got two C pawns. So, okay, capture of the knight for a bishop. Fianchetto for black. And pushing in the center, lots of tension here between these four pawns. Yeah, nice centralized pieces here for white. Knight's in the center. Black still has to develop their light square bishop, which could go to the long diagonal. This pawn is pinned, so that's going to be annoying if white's allowed to capture on d6. What's up, Lit Memes? Good to see you. How are your teams doing? Or is it just one team? Also, shout out to Embry Riddle. They're streaming. They've got 2 matches today, actually. So, looks like they actually just went offline. But they said next match is at 2 p.m. I'm assuming that's Eastern. For those of you that haven't heard of Embry Riddle, it's an aeronautical university. And that is in Florida. So, shout out to eRoute Chess. They should have rated me. We'll teach them. We'll teach them the ways of streaming. But yeah, we like when the colleges are streaming chess. We like to encourage everyone stream their CCL matches and tune in. I think it makes things fun and exciting. Anyways, all right, rook to e7 played, offering some defense over that e7 pawn, that pinned pawn to the queen. The queen's a little smothered. A knight here would be hilarious. Capture, smother. That'd be nice. Odds of that happening are quite low, but not 0. So keep an eye out for that. A lot of time being spent here. This is only move 12, and Demetrius is about to be under 2 minutes on the clock, which is quite slow, if I can say so myself. I am a slow player, so I get it. There is increment, luckily, but it's not that much increment. It is 2 seconds increment. This is a blitz game. So here comes the knight. More pressure, and perhaps trying to induce some pawn pushes. But I feel like c6 can't be that bad, right? Or is it that bad? I don't know. Can we sacrifice? Are we going to do knight takes, pawn takes, but then there's rook takes with check? What's going on? I don't know. But I guess Peto has to figure it out. Is this a bluff? Are they threatening to sacrifice? Bishop here. Computer wants c4. Explosive. Saying, go ahead. See if I care. c4 played. Computer likes white now. Strong center. Still threatening to take on d6 now. And what else? Queen's not smothered anymore, by the way. So that's good news. Still tied down, though, to the defense. And this e-pawn is not pushing because it's pinned. So that's kind of annoying. Black might have to feel like they have to break this pin, but in doing so, creates more weaknesses in front of the king. And maybe even seeing a sacrifice in some situations. Instead, giving up the bishop, trading in the center, taking on d4. And now, my first thought was queen takes, but maybe we don't want to get in the line of fire. What does the computer want? Computer wants e6. Wow. That is what we call an annoying move. But makes sense, and it's been played. So this is just cracking down the structure of the king. The computer wants knight takes. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, rook takes, going after the g-pawn. Knight comes back with a counter threat. And now the computer says the only good move for white is rook e2 to hold initiative, which is kind of funny because, like, why not rook here, rook back to e1? He's played rook e2. Absolutely incredible. Maybe defending the b-pawn. Maybe. I guess. And now, yeah, white still has a slight advantage. All right, bishop back to g3. And yeah, this king, he's got some space, which is not good. Knight covering some light squares, though. Bishop covering the dark. Here we've got a good old-fashioned en passant. And now e5. Okay, computer wants queen b3 check. Getting in at this king. That is a passed pawn, and it's immediately supported with a rook. So keep an eye on that. White technically has a 3-on-1 majority. Queen b3 not an option anymore as the queen covers it. I mean, you could still go for it and trade queens, but I don't think you want to trade queens when this king is so exposed. So h4, still trying to crack open the king's pawn structure that's already extended and is going to be forced to either push or capture. And we don't see either of those. We see a pawn attacking. And now, I mean, we could play queen e1 to pin the pawn if we wanted to, but we don't. Knight moves back, and now the computer likes black. So, yeah, nice move there from Ekin, forcing Demetrius to flinch. And capture on g5, recapture. Computer didn't like that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Okay, Vasilios and Fusik drew. So, 2 draws for Jacob Fus. And Vasilios gets on the board. No, not with a point, but a half a point. Okay, queen b3, and that's to help protect, or I guess get the knight in. The b pawn is hanging. If they want to snag that, let's look at Sean. How's Sean doing? Sean's doing well. He's up 2 pawns. G4 check. King f4. Yeah, I mean, outside pass pawn. Life's good for Sean here. Sean's cooking, as he does. How's Victor doing? Yeah, all the Texas boards seem to be doing just fine here. Yes, this is a good knight versus maybe a bad bishop. Everything's on dark squares for white, except for these 2 pawns. So black's keeping white a little honest. Would you trade queens at the cost of a pawn? Probably not. Computer likes bishop f1. Whoa, a king move. Queen d8. And then what? What happens next? Ooh, knight in. Dark square problems. No time either. Queen takes pawn with check. Yes, please. Queen f8 was technically better. Knight f6. You're going to have mate next. GG. Resigns. Nice game there from Funo. That is Victor Gajic. 2 for 2 now. Increasing this Texas lead. And, yep, Sean's just working his 2-pawn advantage. He's got this guy all the way up. So the king can never leave the F file, by the way. Because if you do, you're going to get checked. And if you get checked, you're going to get promoted on. However, if the king never leaves the F file, well, this guy's never promoting and doesn't matter anyways. That guy's promoted. We might see resigns here. A quick little trade and then resigns. Maybe hoping for a mouse slip. All right, so Sean also perfect 2 out of 2. And looks like Demetris went down to Oznir. So also 2 out of 2 for Oznir. So yeah, another 3.5 to a half score. Only half point there coming from the board 2, Vasilios. Once again against board 4, Jacob Foos. So 2 draws for the board 4 from Texas. And yet still no losses. So UTRGV 1 round away from clinching the win. They need 8.5. So they're looking for 1.5 more points. What's up, Anushka, in the chat? Shout out to Blood Queen. Yeah, multiple GMs on the same teams. We actually lost some GMs from last season because Webster and I don't know. Did UT Dallas have any GMs? I feel bad for asking. But yeah, Anushka, perhaps not one of the GMs in the CCL, but definitely one of the gems in the CCL. Absolute huge gain of talent for the Collegiate Chess League, representing my alma mater, UCLA. Go Bruins. We did gain some GMs. That's true. We gained Ariantari from Mizzou. We gained Arthur Guo from Yale. Probably some others. But yeah, no, this team from UTRGV, these are all same players. They're all veterans. They've all played before. The Athens team also, like, these names are pretty familiar to me, although maybe Gregorios and Jonas, maybe like the bottom 2 boards are new. I'm not sure. Maybe Jonas was here last year. Maybe they all actually Kukuru also looks familiar to me. Maybe they're all veterans. And my memory is just bad. We're in a new season. You know, it's been a while for me. This is my first match covering on my own this season, and we're hoping to cover more lower division matches. But shout out to Blood Queen. We love when the players themselves cover their own matches, because that's the most fun perspective that everyone wants. This is a warm-up match for Athens. This is their 3rd match of the season. Did they win their... I can't remember. I don't know what their score is, but oof, this knight is so annoying. Bishop takes immediately. And now pawn takes. The computer liked queen takes, but still, look at that space advantage for white. You cannot move your D pawn off the starting square. Very annoying to deal with. However, the computer actually likes black after the move queen f6. If Fusik can find it, probably will castle, I assume. And that's the 2nd best move. This is a warm-up for me to commentate. Yeah, I need to get more familiar with the player names. All right, this capture of the knight is actually surprising to me, but it looks like Skulariki wanted to develop the bishop with a tempo. But what was surprising to me was that white didn't take that opportunity to play bishop e2, defending their knight. And now you can see it's kind of annoying. This bishop cannot move because, well, the G pawn is under attack. In fact, the G pawn is now under attack twice, and the rook's going to be hanging in the corner. So the computer likes h4, which makes a lot of sense. The queen's also defending the knight, which was hanging. So h4 just says, hey, where are you going with that queen? Where are you going with that queen in your hand? And Fusyk is going to have to figure out how to respond. That is if Skulariki can play the top choice. The computer also likes queen d2, just offering a queen trade. Or even queen c1. So all the top moves revolve around this awkward queen development. And now computer likes queenside castle. That can get really sharp. So awkward position for sure for white because you can't move the bishop and you can't castle kingside. But the computer's just like, screw it, go long. You don't need kingside castles. But yeah, we'll see what Skulariki actually decides. We were watching Jonas play yesterday against the Mizzou team. They ended up only getting 2 points out of 16. And they're pretty much on pace for the same exact score. So UTRGV and Mizzou, definitely powerhouse teams here in Division 1. Scholarship teams, teams with grandmasters. Queen attacking the knight makes a lot of sense. Knight here is kind of annoying, but no. F6, keeping the knight in the center. I'm considering F4 if you want to really double down, but F3 actually makes a little bit more sense. You're guarding the G4 square and as well as blocking the bishop. So now we can develop our bishop. Rook to D1, so no queenside castles. And perhaps preparing for bishop D3, although I'm not sure if I want the knight to take, so bishop E2. And now white's ready to get castled. So, yeah, knight backwards. Castles probably. Computer doesn't even want castles. Now wants bishop d3. Yeah, and that's been played. Now queen f4. No. Offering queen trade. But this trade kind of awkwardly puts the pawn on g5, which would then be... I mean, you could triple stack, isolate these pawns. Queen trade, then take here. And, like, what is black doing? Hello? Yeah, I mean, I was calling for queen f4, and yeah, look at that. Well, and yeah, h3, making sure the pawn doesn't even sacrifice itself. Castles? I mean, would you step your king up? Probably not into the pen. a4. Kind of interesting. So yeah, opposite color bishops, probably just a draw. But white for choice, for sure. All right, let's look at another game. Let's check in with Sean. He's a perfect 2 out of 2 so far. He's playing against board 2 here in round 3, Vasilios. And yeah, Vasilios doubled rooks on the c file, looking to open things up. Annoying knights. Yeah, no b pawn for white to kick the knight out. I know you like to say knights on the rim are dim, but this bishop kind of tied down, has to cover for c4 because that knight could be a menace. And yeah, this knight is also really well placed, although it can be kicked perhaps at any moment. The matches for CCL are weekly. The main Division 1 broadcast is on the main chess channel, and that is Saturdays at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Eastern. I know that might not be the most helpful for you in Germany, so I guess that's 8 p.m. your time, if I'm not mistaken. But matches can be rescheduled, which is why we're covering a match on Sunday. And there's actually a lot of matches happening today. There's another Division 1 match alone that I know of. There were two from Embry Riddle, who I shouted out earlier. They're going to be starting another game, I think, in like 20 minutes. Maybe we'll raid them if they're live. What'd they say? They said two. No, that's going to be like another hour. Well, we'll find someone to raid. All right, rook into c3, hitting the bishop. And the bishop's doing a really important job guarding the rook's entrance on c2. And like I said, the knight hopping into c4. So this is a fantastic move. Maybe rook d1 is needed. But the knight gets snapped off. And now black will simply take back, probably with the f-pawn, because you want to keep this pawn hunkering down. And you're not quite getting into c4 because the knight would disconnect the rooks, so you'd leave your rook hanging. Ooh, takes this way, so opens up the bishop, and now queen steps up, pressure on the knight. Again, no knight to c4 or to c6 for that matter, but you can go forward to b3. And yeah, that's what Vasilios does. Vasilios under a minute on the clock here. Ooh, knight and queen working together for the fork. So there goes an exchange. But this guy is still hanging. And if that guy hangs and that guy is hanging, actually that guy is probably hanging too, actually. So you pick up an exchange, but you're losing material here. That bishop's hit 3 times, rook's hit once. And rook is not defended, and the bishop's only defended twice. So losing an exchange, but gaining a piece. So that should be 2 pieces for the rook. Obviously, you don't want to lose a whole piece. You don't want to lose a whole rook, so bishop b2 is played to defend, trying to give up the exchange back. And here we see rook to b1 played to defend the bishop, and now knight to d2. Lots of synergy here for Vasilios' pieces. This could be the first loss for Sean, who is currently up in exchange, but going to be losing in exchange. We see the bishop goes all the way back into the corner. We have an opposite color bishop's game, but I would say that this bishop perhaps is the better bishop. And we could see, like, why is this trade not being played? Check, king up. What's the computer saying? It's saying e3. Wow. That's not the first move that comes to my mind, but it is the move played by Vasilios. What a dagger. Just attacking f2 and getting rid of that pawn to open up this king on the second rank. Oh my god, 2 seconds, 1 second. He finally takes, but yeah, queen c6. Don't even lead with the bishop. Lead with checkmate. Pawn sack, another pawn sack. Still, nonetheless, I mean, queen wants to say hello to this king. Queen comes back. Absolute defense here. Are we taking with a pawn? No. Rook here. Now queen takes. Bishop here is coming next. So rook trying to simplify, tossing himself to try to take this rook, but no. Queen sticks around, gives a check. King removes. Rook in. Queen steps up. Another check, followed by this rook check. Surely. I mean, check, and then that's GG. It's forced mate. Wow, what a game from Vasilios. Taking down top board. Rook sacrifices itself. Pawn push. Bishop's opened up now. Resigns. GG. Strong game there from Vasilios, taking down the top board. Sean from Rio Grande Valley. Fusik and Skulariki drew. So let's get their point. Another draw. 3 draws in a row from Jacob Fusik. Or Fus, I should say. And who did he draw? Probably Skulariki, right? Jonas getting on the board. Okay. Ooh, a flag. And that's actually going to be the match. So the draw from Jacob Fusik combined with the win from Ekin Osnier is going to be enough to get the job done for this Texas team. 3 out of 3 for Osnier, leading the way as board 3 and a round to spare. So last game here in this round, top board from Athens, down to 13 seconds. Connected pass pawn here for white. Viktor Gajic with 21 seconds. Looks to be pushing. Attacking the knight. This pawn is hanging. That's a check. That's another check. That's a hanging knight. Knight goes back. Rook goes after this pawn. Rook defends that pawn. 10 seconds. And, yeah, check. I mean, probably just a draw. But this king is going to try to get in here. So, yep. Forcing the rook to take. Ooh, and that's a skewer. Hold on. But this knight and rook combo, don't sleep on that. That could be deadly. Wow. He says, I don't care. Give me that pawn. Rook takes here. Any knight move threatens rook takes. Can we get the king in? Can we take this pawn? Nope. There might have been some checks. Hold on now. Hold on. Can we get the king in? Can we checkmate this guy? Why would we give this check, though? Oh, to win the pawn. We're going to get checked soon. We got to stay close to the knight. Less than 20 seconds for both players. This pawn's hanging with check. Are they going to repeat? A little threefold action. Rook check. Maybe. Whoa. King is overloaded. Perpetual time? No. Knight moves. This knight's hanging now. Check? Could we have done the same tactic to them? Or what? We would get like skewered or something? Who knows? We're going after this pawn. Knight defends the pawn. Now Viktor. Less than 10 seconds. Some shuffling here of the pieces. A check. Another check. This pawn is hanging now, by the way. So that's going to hang with check. No. Takes with the knight to defend this pawn, I guess. Check. King back. Check. Perpetual. Does he want more? Basically, the king can never step up because you're getting mated. So, the king wants to join the party. Yeah, this rook's really annoying. It's covering the whole second rank. This king is dangerously close to some. Oh, check. And that's a free knight. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh. And now white's winning. And now he resigned. You should have taken the perpetual. Oh. Time pressure makes a fool of us all. And yeah, another point for Viktor Gajic. Also 3 out of 3. So 2 players with a perfect score. Boards 2 and 3 for Texas. Vasilios getting a point out of Sean on board 1. And we've got one final round remaining. So the match is already determined, a victor. And it's Viktor and UTRGV. However, these last 4 games in this 4th round are important for tiebreak points. So at the end of the season, any teams that are drawn in their standings will look at the total match points, score point, game point, board points, whatever points you want to call them. So the score matters. How much you win by is really important, especially considering it's a round robin, right? So in theory, all the teams will play all the teams. So whoever has the highest score should be the strongest team. All right, so round 4. We've got Vasilios. He's the point leader today with 1.5 points out of 3 games. Looking for a positive score, perhaps, with a win here against Viktor Gajic. Here we've got the top boards. Dimitris still looking for their first full point. They could have drawn in the last round, but they pushed and blundered in pressure. So now they're up against Sean, who is coming off of their first loss against Vasilios. And it looks like we've got ourselves a Sicilian defense. Apparently it's a Rosalimo, which I don't know my Sicilian theory. I should probably learn. But, you know, sometimes they say it is what it is. And that is what it is. Not sure if it could be anything else. But yeah, 2,800 top board, International Master, up against the GM from Canada. Let's check in on the other boards here. Here we got Jacob Fusik now against FIDE Master Grigoris. Board 4 matchup. And yeah, Fusik, 3 draws in a row. Probably looking to get a full point here. Grigoris, the only player without any points, also looking to get on the board for the first time. And wow, Queen B3 is a big fork attacking here and here. So blunder perhaps from Grigoris. And now Fusik well on the path to victory here. Queen takes B7, attacking the knight, attacking the rook. Queen scoots over to defend, but it's not going to work. And, well, if you don't trade queens, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's the point here? Point is, I mean, you're attacking the queen twice. It's only defended once. I was thinking king d8. And the computer does say, yeah. Oh, pawn put. Okay, defends backwards. Hold on. Hold on. Game's not over yet. I didn't see that, frankly. What does our beloved computer want? It wants the move queen to b5, which is a discovery on the queen. Played. Yeah, top move for white has been played 3 moves in a row now, at least. And you know what? Bishop here is going to be landing next. Computer even says you just play knight c4 and just pile up on this guy. And I mean, like, what are they doing about this guy? Maybe this? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Queen d7 is what the computer says, but going here. Yeah, knight takes e5. Top choice, chef's kiss. Knight's pinned. If queen takes, queen takes. Hello, thank you very much. And yeah, if bishop comes back, we're just going to snag that guy. And then, like, play here or something. I don't know. Life's pretty good. Life's pretty good here. So, Jacob Fus. Is it Fuss or Fus? I don't know. I think for Division 1 teams, I should have them submit how to pronounce their names. Like Gregorios, his last name couldn't even fit on the scoreboard, but it's Draculakos. Um, yeah, Sean's name also couldn't fit. Sean Rodriguez Lemieux, which is a pretty cool name. All right, Bishop B. Yeah, basically spoiled for choice. Yeah, Rook offers itself, captures. Still, Knight takes E5 is a tactic that works out. You can also just simply castle, but yeah, why not just take the pawn? There you have it. There you have it. Pawn secured. Bishop B7. And now you can play maybe knight C4, knight F3, even bishop F4. Now your knight is hanging because this knight is defended. So defend with the other knight. I mean, the knight's pinned. Bishop develops to defend. Computer even says castling long. Man, that's sharp. I'm not sure if I saw that tactic. Okay. So this should be an easy conversion for Jacob. Let's check in on board 2. We've got Victor versus Vasilios, who actually has a decent position. Vasilios won the only win for Athens this match. Strong knight on d4, but a really good bishop for Vasilios. I'm wondering if we can just take this knight and play queen c2 and threaten checkmate. Maybe that's too basic. But I like this light square bishop for white. Unopposed bishop. Computer likes lifting the rook d3. Maybe swinging over to h3. h2 is defended. But now there's no taking the knight because of checkmate. There's no knight here either, so this pawn is pinned. Queen steps up, a natural looking move. I don't know if we've looked at the board 3s yet. Ekin Oznir, who has a perfect score, looking for a sweep, 4 out of 4. Playing against Ionis Kalogeris. Computer did not like this move. What did it want? It wanted queen e4. It wanted queen d2 even. Just attacking the knight in a different way. It didn't like this because knight c6. And now, yeah, maybe e4 is the point. So now black can trade everything. White's got an annoying d pawn. That's for sure. Yeah, the pawn push was with the discovery. The rook hit the queen. So that's why you couldn't take the e-pawn. So now e-pawn trades off. Rook takes. Black can trade down. Damage white's structure. Ooh, they don't do that. They allow the rook trade. And now it likes white again. Why? Because somehow it said bishop f2 is a good move. This is a check. I was even considering, like, why not queen h5? That looked pretty annoying. Who knows? Queen steps up, supporting the d-pawn. Pinning the knight a little bit, perhaps. Attacking the b-pawn with check. Here, the computer just wants d7. Understandable. That also opens you up to queen to d6 check. 30 seconds for Ekin. He does play the best move, d7. There's a result. Yeah, Jacob gets his first win. So he does not lose. He has 3 draws and 1 win. 2.5 out of 4. Kukuru gets swept. Board 4 for Athens. Tough day. And yeah, Texas just adding on to their score. Ekin looking for the sweep. Probably Vasilios is the best bet for Athens. No. The answer is no. The knight needed to stay here. This was a huge blunder. Now the king is smothered. The pawn is pinned, and you have to give up your queen. So that wasn't great. Yeah, this game is over. So Vasilios, I just jinxed, said was the best bet. But okay, maybe not giving up quite just yet. Snagging some pawns here. Let's check in with Sean again. Top board. Okay, so Demetris now. I'm about to jinx Demetris too now. Demetris still looking for their first win. Looking like they're gonna push for it. Yeah, resigns at this point. So this is a forced mate. The rook's gonna be joining in on the party. Okay, so point for Victor. He swept 4-0. Just like Ekin here, who's about to sweep. Trying to trade the rooks. That's a great move. Otherwise, g5 is going to hang. So now, this should be resignable. Bishop here. Whoa. All the way back here. I guess you don't want to get the king. I mean, I was just going to scoop those pawns up, but Ekin with the 4-0 sweep. And now Demetris working his way with Sean. Sean lost in the last round. So if he loses here, that's 2 in a row. Not the best result for your top board. Sean's got a passed H-pawn, but Demetris says, hey, don't forget about my pawn. So computer likes rook c7 check. Just inserting, put the king on the back rank, and then you can play b6. Nice technique here. Very nice. Just attacking the f-pawn. So king steps away, and now b6. You're much faster than black. Black gets behind the pawn, king steps up to avoid rook check and promotion. So rook on b2, preventing castling. Black says, hey, don't forget about my pawn. There's only one good move here. It's f takes e6. 4 seconds to play it. Demetris, in pressure, he does it. Rook takes with check. Rook back, drops his pawn, but he prevents the promotion, and he picks up the knight. But the computer doesn't like that. Computer said, don't take the knight. What did the computer say? Computer said, play knight d5. Unbelievable. He had to keep the king cut out. So the extra knight's not going to mean anything. Unless he can get a fork. He's trying to push e7. Queen! Says, give me that pawn. And now I'm going to fight you down a knight. But this should be a complete draw. Wow. Demetris grabbing the knight, which was the blunder. That knight was in the corner. What was that knight even doing over there? Don't take that. Oh, it's mate in 2. Sean blunders mate. He had to go somewhere else. So Demetris pulls it off with the extra knight. That knight check forced the king into opposition with the back rank checkmate with the rook falling. Instead, what he should have done was go to the A file. King A8 or King A7. Didn't do it. instead gets mated on c8, knight e7, GG. So Demetrius gets rewarded there in the end, gets his first point, and Sean loses 2 in a row after starting 2-0. But doesn't really matter that much. Final score still in Texas's favor, 12.5 to 3.5. So congrats to them. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate you all. Congratulations again to Texas. And we will be back next weekend or even later this week. We'll have another podcast episode. Should be on Friday. Should be an exciting guest. So stay tuned for that. If you aren't in the Discord, you're missing out. So be sure to join that. And yeah, thanks everyone for being here and for watching. And I'll see you all next time. Take care. Let's find someone to raid. See ya.